Jennifer Gabrenya and Judge Yolande Bourgeois are back with us to answer some of your questions. So we're going to get right to this first one. It's a very important question. I haven't been physically abused, but I'm afraid it's heading in that direction. Without physical evidence, are there any laws that cover just emotional abuse?
Absolutely. And that can also be protected in an order of protection. It does not have to be physical abuse.
Oh.
It can be emotional. It can be verbal. If you are in fear and you fear that further abuse will occur, then you put forth those facts in a petition and you go see a judge, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to get that order of protection.
All right, our next question. My neighbors are constantly fighting. We call the cops. Other neighbors call, but I'm really worried about their young children and the effect this turmoil is having on them. I'm not a relative, just a neighbor. What can I do?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really difficult question, and I think a lot of people are wondering, when someone around them is being abused, how can they help? And in that particular kind of situation, I would ask people to keep doing what they're doing. For people who are struggling to figure out what they want to do with their relationship, all of those interventions end up being helpful. And I would ask that neighbor to, I don't know if they're friends, but try to become friends. Try to build some kind of relationship with that person so that that increases your opportunities to be able to get in there and even ask, are you guys okay?
Right.
Because you have to have that relationship to do extra intervention.
Yeah, there's almost like, you know, we've talked so much about victims and abusers and now, but we haven't talked about the family and the witnesses and the support group for people who are going through this, because they need to know how to handle situations that can be very tricky.
There's a huge ripple effect with domestic violence. It doesn't impact only the direct target of the abuse. It impacts every single person that comes in contact at the workplace, the children that are in the home, the family and the friends. The ripple effect is exponential.
All right, our next question. Are there any free resources for legal help?
Yes, there are. And some of them are located right in the building at 555 West Harrison, where you go to get your order of protection. There are victim witness people who work with the state's attorneys if you have a criminal matter. There are all kinds of groups that have a presence in domestic violence court. There's a legal clinic that people can go talk to. So yes, lots of resources.
Right. Virtually every domestic violence agency has legal advocates that help with obtaining the order of protection, and there's no cost associated with that.
Right. Here's another great question. Are there any shelters for LGBTQ people who are victims of domestic violence, and what support is out there for them?
So domestic violence shelters across Illinois are not allowed to discriminate against who comes into the shelter. So it doesn't matter who it is that you're in a relationship with or what the nature is of your relationship, you can access that resource. It can feel uncomfortable. I've known some people who've gone into that and they're really thinking of domestic violence as primarily this heterosexual issue, so there's a discomfort maybe, but they have to be accepted in. And there are some specific organizations that service people in LGBTQ relationships, so they have a little bit more comfort there. If you know what my community is like, you know what my culture is like. But as far as an emergency shelter, you need to get in right away. Domestic violence shelters cannot say that they won't accept you due to whoever it is that you're in a relationship with.
All right, our next question. How can I check for resources? I know my boyfriend is checking out what I'm looking for online, on social, etc. So this is a privacy issue.
Yeah, and that abuse through technology has really gone through the roof lately. And one of the main things that people need to start learning how to do, which I still don't really know how to do very well, is clear your browser history.
Okay.
So that when you're, if that's the only way that you have to look for information, that you know how to clear it out right away. If you're certain that somebody's coming behind you and is going to look at it right away, you want to learn how to clear that out immediately. And then also see if you can't find, you know, 1-800 phone numbers, or again, it's that people that you talk to. I get concerned that we've lost the human connection with each other so much with our reliance on technology, and there's a lot that you can do if you find the right person. Talk to a friend, maybe have them look for the resources for you so that it's not on your machines, but it's on their machines.
Public libraries as well.
Exactly.
Right. That's good advice. Here's another great question. I've seen girls at my high school with their boyfriends who treat them like trash. They say it's not physical, but I have a hard time believing it. They don't live together though, so is it still domestic violence?
Yes, absolutely.
Legally, yes.
The law doesn't
Intimate
require living
relationship.
together.
Either you're related by blood or marriage, you're in an intimate relationship, or you are roommates. people who live in the same household who are not related, have no relationship other than roommates, are still covered.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.